Head to the spaceport and meet me at my ship. It's the J Swan. Enough to be on a first-name basis with the Marines working the comms. It also helps they want us to dock. The cargo ship means supplies, special requests, slates from home. In the void of space, a cargo hauler is a soldier's best friend. Only what I've been told. Get you on the SY-920, get you out if I can. That being said, I can be a better guide if I know what it is we're after. So, it's up to you. Interesting. When we get to the station, I'll see if I can pull any information on its whereabouts. Hopefully that'll make for a smoother trip. Less than you. And even if I did, I'm a smuggler, not a scientist. But if Delgado's after it, then I have a feeling there's a pile of credits waiting at the end of this job. So we better do it right. We'll talk more on the ship.
They say never hire.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yubi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
Get this freight into space.
Yes?
Howdy.
All right, a few things to note. When we get to the checkpoint, UC military will be hailing us. Let me do the talking. Pretend you're a piece of cargo if you have to. Then try biting your tongue. Literally. We can't afford any screw-ups.
The last thing we want is an entire UC station full of armed guards questioning our presence.
No, that would be bad. Although, not as bad as what the fleet will do to us if we come back empty-handed. Now, like I said before, once we take off, there's no turning back until this job is done. If you need to take care of anything before we leave, do it. If you want to ask me any other questions, go for it. All right, then get comfortable. We leave for SY-920 immediately.
All crew prepare for takeoff. Traffic down.
Noted. Just get us there safe.
Roger that.
I've taken a lot of cargo to that station. Not all of it legitimate. You're the first person I've smuggled, though.
You entered secure UC military space. Hey. Identify yourself or you will be considered hostile.
This is Captain Huan Daiyu, cargo class ship ID UC 7938, requesting permission to dock.
Identity confirmed. Prepare your ship for scanning. You're cleared to dock at docking bay 2.
Looks like we're clear. We'll talk more once we're docked.
Pardon. Yes?
Okay, we're in. First things first. The station is enormous, with checkpoints everywhere. To get past them, you'll need a military uniform. And to get a uniform, you'll need to get to the barracks. There should be a way through the vents. You can get to them via the maintenance store downstairs. There's an intercom there as well, where we can make contact. Once you get a uniform, it should be fairly easy to find an elevator to the command bay. But if at any point your cover's blown, I'm gone. Provided you haven't sounded the alarm, then yeah, like I said, if you can find an intercom, I'll keep a channel open. This is a star station, so there are plenty of ventilation ducts you can slither into. As far as tactics go, it's an oldie, but goodie. Only military personnel are allowed out of the cargo area. That's why we need to get you to the barracks to find you a uniform. I would hope not. But if they do, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Either way, for now, get on that station and find that intercom. We'll talk more then.
Hello. Pardon.
Board the station and look for an intercom. We can sync up that way.
melody. You with the Jade Swan? Loading and unloading only. Stay clear of the military barracks. Do your job, keep your head down, and we won't have trouble.
What's the serial number on that shipment we got yesterday?
Let me see. UC 38302.
Wait, 38302, not 5.
Looks like.
You can't be serious. This is the third time this week we've gotten errors in the sorting.
I say we just leave it. I mean, what's a 2 except an upside-down 5?
And are you going to explain it to Brass when their shipment of rifles gets replaced with a box of forks? Send it back. Now.
Security on this station's always been tight, but now it's on another level.
Maybe I dropped it while working. Sure would be nice to listen to some music on the job.
It's tough not seeing any action, but securing a station like this is a pretty important duty.
This is Captain Huan Daiyu. And let's see what we can do about it. If I'm not mistaken, the maintenance door should be in front of you. If you can find a way to open it, it'll get you past the first checkpoint. Try eavesdropping on a few soldiers. Maybe one of them will mention a key. Right. Pick a lock or pick a pocket. Shouldn't be too hard for a Crimson Fleet pirate to pull off. Anyway, the door will let you access the vents. Go up the vents and to the barracks. You should find a uniform there. The uniform should get you through the checkpoint and to the elevators. We'll talk again once you get to the command bay.
I haven't seen a lock picked that easily since I traveled with Vladimir's soul. A lot on your mind? Glad to haul whatever you need. want help, I'm here. You know that doesn't belong to you, right?
I don't know what you do without me, but let's try and work this through. If you found a uniform, be sure to put it on. That'll provide some cover. I've hacked into the database, and it seems information on the ComSpike.
Oh, you're good.
We've been asked to tighten security on the station. Orders are orders. Word is Commander Woods might be coming back. That'll put an end to all these checkpoints.
I don't know what you'd do without me, but let's try and work this through. If you found a uniform, be sure to put it on. That'll provide some cover. I've hacked into the database, and it seems information on the ComSpike is in the archives. There's a checkpoint you'll have to pass, which requires a clearance code. We are of the same mind. No talking, no combat, and no trace. This station has a lot of old arteries. The blood has gone dry, but they still connect to its heart. Look for a maintenance area that should open a path to the archival computers. Going dark for now. We'll talk again once you've located the ComSpike.
Not yet. Gotta get clearance at the security station and then head on over to the archives.
Well, you better hurry. You know what they say, Marine. If you're 15 minutes early, you're still 10 minutes late.
I don't know you, Ensign. You sure you have clearance? Stop right there, Ensign. All right, Ensign. Why aren't you at your post? Who's your commanding officer? Only authorized personnel are allowed here. Only senior officers report to the commander. Something doesn't seem right. Oh yeah? Everyone? Fine, I'll let you go, Ensign. But as soon as you're done with your task, you should return to your post.
I don't recognize your face, Ensign. Are you new?
Didn't last very long.
Not to change the subject, but are we concerned about potential leaks?
No. Until you can provide more substantial proof, we'll simply monitor the situation at the cargo bay. For now, I've recommended to Dr. Vogel to contact me immediately if he identifies any suspicious behavior.
All quiet over here.
I assume the two of you are together?
We're from the same unit, yes?
Then you're both clear.
Pardon?
Why aren't you at your post, Ensign?
Make it quick, Ensign. I'm busy with half a dozen spreadsheets that I'm pretty sure outrank you. And you know how the commander feels about breaking the chain of command. She hates it. Are you kidding? Being a person puts you exactly at the bottom of the totem pole. Look at me. I'm an engineer, graduated top of my class, and I'm pretty sure the coffee machine gets more respect. At least the spreadsheet actually does some heavy lifting. Well, you've got a uniform, Ensign Akasaka. Just use the computer in the security office and look up the code based on your last name.
I don't know you, Ensign. You sure you have clearance?
Almost unloaded. We'll be departing shortly. You are, and I've delivered you just as Delgado asked. That being said, I can stay in orbit for a short while. I'll need to send word to Delgado anyway, if you don't get off that station. But it looks like you'll need to find your own way off the ship. That doesn't mean you're trapped. On a station this big, there are bound to be other vessels you can steal. As a member of the Crimson Fleet, I trust you can handle that. Made it this far without engaging in combat, I trust you'll have no issues moving further. It was an honor to work with a true professional. Good luck. If you manage to get the ComSpike and make it out alive, next time you're at the Nova, I'll buy you a drink.
Research is coming along nicely. The test pilots here are the real heroes. If we make an error, they're the ones who suffer the consequences.
You wouldn't have too many difficulties.
Yes?
Excuse me.
You lost, Ensign?
intercepting transponder data in our system might be promising. According to autocorrelation models, results in risk increased by a magnitude of 2. But we won't tell Commander Natar. Wait, who are you? Why are you in here? Did you not see the sign? The sign outside that says no visitors. Wait, did they not put that up? I requested it ages ago, but not surprising. Ever since Commander Natara took over, the priorities have changed. Oh yes. I've been studying decryption of all types for quite a long time. Probably since before you took your first crab jump. Signal protocol, quantum ratchet symmetry, interleaving data extrapolation. You name it, I've lectured on it. I've probably forgotten half of it, but I definitely knew it once. The ComSpike. But I can't just hand it to you. It's a module for a ship. It's attached to a prototype in one of our docking ports. We're still in the testing phase, running decryptions across a variety of signal types, but the results so far have been very promising. It can even interpolate signal data lost in the retrieval. It really is a wondrous technology. Well, yes. In the same way the Almagest is a book on constellations and a supernova is an explosion in space. The greatest scientific minds the UC has to offer did not congregate to this station to build just a module. The brightest engineers in the settled systems did not get transferred to this station to build just a module.
In a top-secret facility, I'd expect nothing less than cutting-edge tech. The only question is, does it work?
Well, I can tell you right now, it does work. In theory, anyway. Yes, it's not quite cracking the Enigma code, but it will give us a significant tactical advantage. We'll be able to infer everything from battle plans to meal consumption. Not that we'd care about that sort of thing. Outside of the effects of diet on combat readiness. And yes, there are certain kinks to be worked out, missing parts and the occasional traumatic injury here and there, but it's all part of the adventure. Yes, you could, but why would you want to kill birds? Seems needlessly cruel, don't you think? However, that might make you the ideal candidate to be one of our test pilots. In short, I've requested a full squadron of these brave and fearless Marines to be transferred to the station. They'll give the prototype a final run, and provided there are minimal casualties, we can present our findings to MAST. Splendid. That was fast. I thought I put in the request this morning. Normally my requests aren't given this much attention, let alone haste. It seems a tad suspicious. Classified? I'm the head of the ComSpike project. I would have gotten word of this ahead of time. Commander Natara, you say? We don't want to make her angry. She's terrifying. You're right. We do need to hurry if we're going to have this module ready in time. All right, you've convinced me. You're the new test pilot. You'll need a uniform and a terminal password to authorize a flight and get past Natara's cumbersome checkpoints. The uniform you can get in the locker room area, the password you get from me. You'll find the prototype ship at Docking Bay 8. Use the password to access the flight terminals in the control center. And of course, best of luck. You are doing science a great service by undertaking this sacrifice.
Stop right there, Ensign. There's been word of suspicious behavior from someone matching your description. All right. Perhaps you'd like to elaborate. I think we can work something out. I hear you. All right, you're clear. Just keep in mind there's been reports of a possible intruder on the premises.
I've heard the engineers say Dr. Vogel's an AI. I guess that's their way of saying he's smart. Or boring.
Prototype ship, you are not cleared for takeoff. What's going on over there?
Unauthorized launch from engineering. All ships, secure the prototype. I have visual. Safety's up.
Clothes cleaned, your boots polished, your mirror shined.
Painful memories or not, it's good to be home. Constellation is no stranger to loss. Our own founder left on an expedition and never returned. It is easy to talk about the glory and excitement of breaching into the unknown, of lighting the darkness. But it is harder to stare into the face of the cost. That all of our progress is built on top of the lives of those who dared. and that we owe them the courage to continue our work in their memory.
Thank you, Sarah. If anyone else would like to say a few words. Thank you. If anyone else wants to say something. I hope this is all okay. Between fixing things up and sending out messengers and getting all the paperwork done. It's not much. No, it's fine. Sorry, if I talk any longer, I'm gonna start crying. Could you excuse me?
I thought maybe I would come up with something to say, but I've got nothing. So, instead, I thought I would quote something that gave me comfort a long time ago. Is God real? The more proper question would be, is reality divine? Existence itself is a mystery which yearns to be uncovered.
Hey,
What is
how are you holding up?
a comparison to the good? What is existence?
Take some time for yourself, okay? Plenty of rooms to sit down in if you need to be alone for a while. We'll get through this. It might feel like everything's falling apart, but that's why we need to stick together.
So pure that it may only be understood as primordial and even
We all have to get through this our own way.
our essence.
Don't worry about
What
me.
was imagined
Really,
by its mind.
I'll be fine.
But what we consider imagining and what we consider
Chat
mind
for a bit?
are in fact so
Normally,
far
I hate
beyond
talking
our
to people at
understanding
funerals, but
that even these metaphors are like the tiny white caps
fair enough.
on a massive searching sea.
How about that chat? You don't believe in the afterlife, do you? I mean, this might be the worst time to bring it up, but
Thank you.
That was really thoughtful, Mateo. Thank you. Does anyone else want to say anything?
yes. Won't we all? Well, I've taken up enough of your time. I don't often speak about what I believe in. It seems so redundant with how I live. But death is one of those occasions where it's hard not to look inward. Our friend is gone. There's no afterlife or second meetings. No God in heaven that is curating a perfect ending for me. So it's up to us. We are what lives on. If the pain of loss inspires us to greater action, then that is the good that comes from it. Humanity is what truly creates our world. We are the ones that judge things to be good or evil, joyful or mournful. Let us take responsibility for it. Let us remember what we have lost.
Walter, are you part of the House of Enlightenment? I never knew that.
Yes, well, I like to keep some things private.
You all might not like thinking about this, but when we die, everything about us breaks down, decomposes, gets eaten up by
It almost feels wrong to be grieving. selfish.
Just simply carried away by space.
No amount of tears will bring the dead back.
Until we sizzle in a distant sun's corona. Or get
It's
pulled
just
into
easier to
gravitational
feel
field,
guilty,
coalescing
if you'll
about
excuse me.
Not comforting, huh? But
It
I
all
disagree.
feels so senseless.
Do you know
I'll
what
need
I
to
find?
reimburse
I'll be
Morale for
fine.
the easel and
The
photo.
thought that
I
after
hope
I
this was
die,
enough.
the universe is just going to stand still forever. Could you imagine? The fact is that the universe goes on. That life goes on. That things do not just sit.
I am told these types of gatherings are a sad occasion. That assumption appears to be correct.
The universe doesn't care. Not because it's evil, but because it's infinite. Ever expanding. And who wouldn't want to be a part of infinity? Even if it's just for a short while.
Correct. I would say that I appreciate your candor, but we both know that would only be a simulated response for your benefit, not unlike the way people say, sorry for your loss, even when they clearly are not experiencing any signs of regret. If you would like, though, I can add some consoling language to my programming. It will take some time to adapt, but it will be okay. How was that? I will note that feedback for later.
You know, what you're feeling right now is a chemical reaction whose evolutionary goal is promoting social cohesion. Never seems to work for me. No matter how many times I do this, I feel less attached, not more. Well, look at us. Two lone wolves howling at the moon on the same night. You know, if there's one piece of advice I can actually give you, it's that lost loved ones have a way of coming back to you. One day you'll be sweeping out some old shelf or digging through a desk, and there it'll be. Some old paperweight of theirs. Or a piece of jewelry they gave you. Half jokingly. Theoretically, of course. You're awfully quiet. I guess I can't blame you. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Captain. Can I talk with you for a bit? Don't have any other advice to add?
Hi. So many people here. So many people saying goodbye. Is this supposed to make everything okay? Make everyone feel better? It's just... it doesn't change anything, does it? I just feel like I want to be a million light years away from everyone. I want to be alone for a while, okay?
Is it quieter in the lodge, or is it just me? Death is a bastard. Comes for us all. You know, there's an old Aquila story about two pioneers who got lost trying to find a new frontier to settle. One of them takes ill. Clear he's not gonna make it, he turns to his partner and says, "Don't bury me. Let the ground take what it's due. I'd rather be a ghost chasing after you than walk through the pearly gates knowing an eternity of loneliness until you get there." Sad story, huh? You look after yourself. You got time for a quick chat? I'd appreciate
Drink?
it when you're able.
Pour one out to the blackest sea? Two old friends. May their ghosts go past the edges of space, to the great beyond. I...
Oopsie. I forgot to read chat. I had people commenting here. Oh my god. You want to see my skills? Sure. Oh, dude, I forgot I have a skill point I could use. How come no one told me? Ship boosters. My character level? 140. Yeah, I pretty much got everything. Pretty much. Okay.
new toy for me. Go on in and give everyone the lowdown. We'll take care of things from here. That's a real nice ship you brought in. Wait, take a look.
Rook.
You looking to start something? Because I'll finish it. Bulk grog is fine. Samina was able to patch me up with the surprise you got. You basically saved my life.
Samina says we have you to thank for the extra supplies. Now I can be twice as careless as usual.
Need something?
Nice to know Neva was right about you. It's good to have a promising rookie with the fleet. Now you're starting to sound like a real pirate. Anyway, I believe I owe you a drink. It's the last time I'm paying, of course. Because if Delgado's right about Crix's legacy, you've earned more than your fair share already with that ComSpike. Yeah, and I had to feign my surprise to make sure I didn't rat you out. But thanks for trusting me with that info all the same. Us rooks have to stick together. You read my mind. I don't like the thought of putting my routes in jeopardy over an old story. But I respect Delgado, and I believe he's onto something. What that is, though, remains to be seen. Anyway, I've kept you long enough. Now that you've had your drink, and my debt is paid, it's time for you to give Delgado the good news.
We go, you see SysDef shut.
Always listen to Delgado. Unless you want to get killed across the key.
If you got any spare credit.
Jasmine tells me that you not only brought us the ComSpike, but an entire prototype UC ship. I'm impressed, Rook. Very impressed.
Don't worry your pretty little head about your damn ship. We had it brought back here safe and sound. Now pay attention. Dale went out of his way to tell you how impressed he was. You just gonna leave him hanging like that? Yeah, nice try, Rook. We know you didn't have a choice. Juan gave us the full rundown of your little smash and grab operation. She gave you some really high praise. Said you were a pro.
And from what I hear, receiving praise from Juan Dayu is quite an accomplishment. All in all, a job well done. Now, on to the business at hand. Jasmine, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, boss. What's up?
How's it going?
I already have two of my crew tearing the ship apart from one end to the other. ComSpike shouldn't be too tough to extract. I'm looking forward to seeing what those UC techs have been up to.
Keep me posted. All right. That leaves our electromagnetic atmosphere problem. And I think we've discovered a solution. There's a corporation in the city of Neon called Generdyne. They're responsible for the massive conduction grid that powers the city. We get our hands on their electrical absorption tech, and Jasmine swears she can tame it to handle Bannock 4. It's all we got. Now you are part of this job, so deal with it. Besides, I've learned never to question Jasmine's talent. It's the giant shroud that covers the entire city. Big, ugly thing that Generdyne uses to absorb lightning strikes. When you arrive in Neon, I'm sure your contact will fill you in with all the boring details.
Hey, my girl can piece together a jump engine with her eyes shut. Literally, I've seen her do it. So, cut the crap. The only thing you need to worry about is bringing the tech home.
All right, all right. Infighting isn't going to get us to the legacy any faster, Nate. Now, why don't you give us the info on our Neon contact?
You get to meet up with the lovely Estelle Vincent. She's had her deft little fingers on the pulse of Neon for some time now. Whatever info you need, I guarantee she can get.
Estelle is one of the most reliable captains we have in the fleet. If I want something done, there's none of the typical bullshit. It gets done, and afterward, we all split the cash. You'll find I rarely imply things. In fact, I take pleasure in declaring my words straight to your goddamn face. Here is an example. I want you to do everything Estelle asks. Follow her instructions to the letter. She is valuable to the fleet. You piss her off and we lose her as a contact, you're going to be answering to me.
Estelle will be waiting at Madame Sauvage's place. I'd say don't keep her waiting, but chances are she won't mind. Girl loves her liquor.
And keep your eyes on the prize. Neon's one big distraction for people like us, so I want you focused. We are one step away from Quix's legacy, and we cannot afford any screw-ups.
Everything looks clear. It's good to have you back.
Hey, I want to talk to you right now. I have masks breathing down my neck. They're ready to shut down this entire operation. You open fire on SY-920 and kill people. Just who the hell do you think you are? Fortunately, you provided just enough information for me to convince the Council that this program should continue. Since SY-920 is a top-secret facility, it won't be difficult for Master to cover up your horrible mistake. That doesn't diminish the gravity of the mistake you made. I will not get off your back. I told you when you began this operation that you're under my command, which means you will follow my orders and do exactly as I say. People have died because you were too stubborn to find a safer solution. This is not how you see SysDef operates. If you do it again, you're off this operation, and I'll have Tough throw you in the brig.
It'll be my pleasure, sir.
All right. I think we're all in agreement here. So let's get back to the operation at hand. Please give me your report. With the acquisition of the ComSpike, the fleet is one step closer to Crix's legacy. And the more people we arrest, the greater the chance that your infiltration is discovered. We're working against the clock here, so let's start by discussing the status of the ComSpike. Then it's just a matter of time before she reverse engineers it to fit the fleet's purposes. So what does Delgado have you doing next? Has he solved the Bannock 4 problem? Bannock 4 is an EM-class gas giant. Your ship will need special protection to ensure the electromagnetic disturbances in the planet's atmosphere don't fry your circuits. The conduction grid?
That's brilliant. But is it actually possible? It's 80-year-old tech. Sorry, sir. The conduction grid is how Neon generates its power. It essentially absorbs lightning strikes and converts it to usable energy. It would take a hell of an engineer to modify the technology to handle Bannock 4's EM field. An engineer, like Jasmine Durand.
If that's the case, inform our contacts on Neon that our operative will be touching down there in the near future.
Absolutely, sir.
And before you depart, I wanted you to know that your efforts are helping us gain interest among my superiors. They're finally beginning to believe that we can take down the Crimson Fleet and make amends for the UC's embarrassing mistake. The fact that our common enemy owes its existence to the United Colonies, of course. It was the riot at the lock, touched off by Jasper Cricks, that inspired him to create the Crimson Fleet in the first place.
Thanks to your assistance, we'll be able to rectify that mistake, and Nast will authorize an all-out assault.
Of course I am, but it's a calculated risk. You've already come this far, which makes you the most resourceful operative in SysDef's history.
If we move in and attack the fleet now, we might not have the resources to bring them down. In addition, they're holding all the tech you need to get to Crix's legacy, so the smartest move is to let you get to it and then bring it to us.
I'm confident that once Crix's legacy is in our possession, we'll get the support we need from my superiors to take the fleet down. All right, I suppose that's all for now. I'll be looking forward to your next report. Good luck. And please, be careful.
There's been rumors of soldiers smuggling personal items into the station. I doubt it. UC Marines are way too disciplined.
I've heard the technology in this station would make the FC surrender before we even started another war. Things were a little too loose under Commander Woods. With Commander Natara, we had stricter checkpoints, more patrols, better security. Everything looks clear.
You have permission to speak freely. Go back, and as you were.
What can I do for you? I'll be here if you have any more questions.
I've heard the technology in the station would make the...
This world is off limits. You were advised to jump to safe harbor immediately. Let me check my logs. All right, you can proceed. We'll let them know you're on your way down.
Forward base 441.
pride myself on knowing everyone on this world, and I don't know you. You're with the collection team then, I presume. Either that, or you're one deeply unlucky trespasser. Then you're in the right place. Ah, and what do we have here?
Commander Hatum.
No need for introductions, Major Sanon. Dr. Walker, your reputations precede you, as does the urgency of your mission, so I'll get to it. Now, Londinion is one of the most dangerous places in the Milky Way. It's with good reason my soldiers and I do everything we can to avoid entering the city. Terramorphs are omnipresent, and the structural damage left behind when Major Sanon's father bombed its spaceport has turned large swathes of the metropolis into a decaying labyrinth. As such, we'll be providing you all with gear, information, and uploading municipal unlock codes to your robot. Every tool you could need to succeed out there. Except one. Once you're on the other side of those barriers, you will be on your own. If you get into trouble, my people will not be coming. Do we understand each other? The initial Terramorph outbreak that overran Londinion during the tail end of the Colony War came as a complete shock. Waves of the creatures appeared out of nowhere, and the city was quickly overwhelmed. There were some attempts at evacuation, but Ve Victus decided more definitive action was merited. He ordered the spaceport to be bombed, ensuring no other ships could leave the city, halting the spread of the outbreak but leaving large sections in ruins and condemning countless lives. And the intervening 20 years have only made Londinion more hostile, not less. So my people will not be coming for you out there. Understood? We are unwanted guests on this planet, and, as a rule, I don't put my people in any more risk than is absolutely necessary. We've got it hard enough out here. So, no, there will be no cavalry sweeping into the rescue. Terramorphs, and plenty of them. Outside our little sanctuary here, much of the planet is theirs. For that reason, we keep our trips into the city to a minimum. That also means our intel becomes largely historical once you go much beyond the defenses. It's also why I want to make sure I'm being crystal clear. Out there, you're on your own. We'll do our best. I'll leave you to your preparations then. You can find your equipment in our armory, base of the tower just outside. Now, once you're outside the base, it's my personal suggestion you make a beeline to the nearby Aceles plant. It contains one of our field caches. Though I can't guarantee it won't contain anything else. I hope you all find what you're looking for out there. Robot, you're coming with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Commander. Percival, you all set to hook into their comms tower?
Should only take a few minutes. Let's get this done and get the hell out of here.
Percival will be scanning the city for our samples from here. When he finds one, he'll transmit the coordinates to us out in the field.
Pinpoint's a bit strong.
The equipment will be able to get us a rough location of any acceptable samples in the scan area. It'll be up to you, Kaiser, and I to find the things. No argument here. Head over to the armory and gear up. Once you're done, we'll meet by the entrance to the city. Give him one for me, all right? Word of advice
on your gear? Are you ready to do this? Yeah, just pre-mission jitters. You hear about a place for so long, it maybe gets bigger in your head than it should be. But you don't need to worry about me. I'll be all right. Now, are we doing this or not? Then let's get this show on the road. Kaiser? Percival, everything green on your ends?
I am ready. Personal comm should be routed through Kaiser now. You copy that?
Perhaps too loud.
Oh, you're a riot robot.
Kaiser, take it off.
Unlock code transmitted. You may open the gate when ready.
Alright. On our way into the city. Percival, where are we heading?
Running the first sweep. Got one. A Sealy's. Not far. Old shipping yard just past the processing plant. Gene samples are probably in one of the containers.
Safety's off.
Organic resources like this are more useful than people give them credit for.
Event registered. Initiating enemy search.
These things, they're all dominated. Clean them out and keep an eye out for the morph controlling them.
Just beyond the processing plant. Cache with some goodies is towards the rear of the facility.
Kaiser, we close enough for you to dial in the location of those samples from here?
Yes. They're faint, but I'm detecting multiple valid signatures. I have restored power to the containers.
Jackpot. Get down there and collect as many as you can.
option?
Not from where I'm standing.
We've got our answer.
Access unlocked. We may proceed.
Kaiser, this flora, this is Lazarus plant, isn't it?
Confirmed.
You know, no one even realized it was a living thing until someone got it under a microscope and saw it had cells. Can't be cultivated anywhere but Londinion. Real marvel. Lazarus in bloom. You know, we might be some of the only... What's happening? Did you see this?
Terramorphs. You just saw that, right? You would tell me if I was losing my mind. That heat leech became a terramorph. The pests that have snuck onto every planet are baby terramorphs. Heat leeches hide out in ships, sneak away after landing, and then, with time, they transform. We just found out how terramorphs move between planets.
That I don't have an answer for right now. But if they share a genome, like most nymphs and adults do, the microbe should have no problem dealing with heat leeches and terramorphs. The Asylees we'll have to look into. But given what we know about the creatures, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to find that they've got an appetite for both. No, Lazarus plants can't grow anywhere but here, let alone blossom. People have tried. Plus, if what we just witnessed was happening anywhere else, well, it wouldn't just be Londinion lost to these things. What we just saw, it must be some kind of alternate growth method. One that winnows 70 years of maturation into seconds. It's incredible. I am sincerely inclined to agree, but current evidence suggests nature manages it just fine. The Lazarus plant. It's clearly an accelerant for the terramorph, a heat leech transformation process. Make one into the other in an instant. But that means if anyone knew about this, they could trigger a terramorph spawning. You could sneak a leech into a city, or even multiple leeches, into a place like New Atlantis. Good God. The attack on New Atlantis, does this... Could someone have set that up? But first, you'd have to know the truth about all this.
Well, we're never gonna know if you don't catch that thing. Get after it.
We may proceed.
Go!
Lazarus plant was used to trigger the attacks on both planets.
There's no way a plant this rare, this fragile, just shows up here, New Atlantis, and Tau Ceti. The transformations on those worlds, they must have been triggered by human hands. Captain, do you understand what it is we just stumbled on here? I think someone figured out how to use the Lazarus plant to trigger terramorph attacks. Makes some sense, actually. Tau Ceti was likely their first test. Someplace remote where no one would question a few settlers going missing. Ensure the big show, the attack on New Atlantis, would be a success. And the timing of that one, it couldn't have been just luck that it happened right when we were asking the cabinet to do something about the terramorphs. These attacks, I think someone planned them to set all this in motion. It can't. At least, I didn't think it could. But maybe if we're right about this, someone found a way. Oh, I am well aware. In particular because it leaves some big questions unanswered. Who could pull something like this off? And why? That's a good point. An accusation this consequential needs evidence to back it up. Not just conjecture.
Let's save the discussion for when you all aren't standing in the universe's closest equivalent to hell frozen over. If we're gonna do anything to prevent more terramorph attacks, human cause or otherwise, we need that final sample.
Roger that. Kaiser, get us into the spaceport?
The entrance is this way.
Ideas where we could get some extra juice?
Local power looks like it was controlled in the security office. Upper floor.
Captain and I can scout it out. Kaiser, see if you can't find another way to get it open.
Spectacular. Restore power to the office entrance. You may proceed.
There's the control panel. Still looks operable. Of all the things to survive.
Reactivated. Error. Control system reboot required.
And we do that. Ah, Captain. I think I see it.
Reboot engaged. Running diagnostic. Diagnostic complete. Multiple systems unavailable. Warning. Priority safety concern detected. Exterior hatch power restored.
Back in business.
Warning. Emergency recorder message detected. Transcription process engaged. Playback initiated.
Admiral Sanon, we need to make the evacuation request.
That's my father he's addressing. He was here? Didn't think he'd have the guts to look those soldiers in the eye before blowing this place to pieces.
Admiral!
It just transformed. An invisible weapon. No planet will be safe. Colonel, the troops that closed off the sewers after my evaluation, they're all in this facility.
Other than our casualties, yes, sir.
Good. Get them into defensive
that recording. We should talk. Hey, Victus. He destroyed this place. Killed these people to keep what he knew about the Lazarus plant and the Terramorphs and all this a secret. Didn't he? The recording said it all. He saw the potential of the plant as a weapon and hid it away. He killed those people. Condemned this city to keep them from sharing what they might have seen. He was He decided to sentence his own soldiers to death. What kind of commander is that? But I guess that's just another part of his sick legacy now. He thought he was protecting us all, taking the secret to his grave. Only he didn't succeed. Now someone else knows about the Lazarus plant and is using it exactly how he feared. Now's not the time to joke like that, all right? No, that's insane. He died. They executed him. They faked his death? My entire unit, they threw us all to the wolves, but kept him? And now he's what, an advisor? Commanding the fleet in secret? What was so important that they had to keep him alive? That's really not funny. I guess it makes sense though, doesn't it? The UC of that era only created me because they were afraid of a world without Victus in command. Why would they get rid of him? As long as I live, I'll never understand the loyalty that old bastard elicited. But wait, if my father's alive and knew about the Lazarus plant, what do you think the chances are he was involved in the attacks? Good point. Deal with one monster at a time. Let's go get that final sample. Kaiser, try now.
Guys, your sample, it moved. I'd be real careful out there if I were you.
Sound good. Eyes peeled. Percival, you should unplug and find somewhere we can talk. Privately.
On it. See you soon. Look at all of you. Back from the underworld. Got pretty frantic on the comms towards the end there. But it sounded like this was a success. Got everything we need to put this plan in motion. Can't be positive until we run some tests. But knowing that the Terramorphs have been masquerading as heat leeches all this time is a big find. Arguably makes things more feasible, now that we know what we're dealing with, not less.
Agreed. Plus, I don't think you're gonna have to push real hard to get folks on board with cleaning up one of the galaxy's greatest pests if this is what they're capable of.
But none of that's getting done without the samples. You do have them, right? Hey, was worried about that myself. Though I know I wasn't nearly as much at risk of limb loss as you all were. Now, my connection might have gotten a bit fuzzy there, but do I have it right that Faye Victus knew about this damn plan?
That's what it sounded like.
Guess the old Admiral must have told someone what he learned. Even he's not clever enough to pull off an attack like that from the great beyond.
It's a bit more complicated than that. Captain, he needs to know. Faye Victus is alive, which means he could have been involved in the attacks.
Alive? He's... Faye Victus? That can't be true, right?
Unfortunately for us all, yes, it's true.
So that means we have a suspect.
I believe that's exactly what that means. Look, Captain, Percival and I, we need to get these samples back to the lab. Ensure we'll be able to handle cleaning up the leeches as well as the Terramorphs. But Faye Victus is the only solid lead we've got on the attacks. Since you're the only one who knows where he is, can you speak to him? See if you can get him to cough up anything he might know. Captain, I truly don't. He's already shown he's taken an interest in you. I'll be a lot more useful in the lab right now than I would be grilling Francois. So do you think you could do it? Please? Plenty of people out there with grudges against the UC, but he's the only one we know had any knowledge of the Lazarus plant. So right now, it's the only option we've got. Will you do it? Good. We'll all meet back at Mast, outside the cabinet chambers. They're gonna want to know everything we've uncovered here. Best of luck, Captain. And thank you for dealing with him.
Visiting Londinion has left me with a longing for Mira. I did not think this was possible.
What? Bruh. Are you kidding me? Hi. Alright, I gotta go.